for a little while. This is my third live stream concerning songwriting on the CreatiVets website. It's a thrill to be here. So I've been out I've been out running food to poor people's houses all day. So I'm still coming down from that. I literally just walked in the door, made myself, oh yeah. You know what that is, right? Hey, Mr. Two. Good to see you. Today, I'm going to do something for myself. Hey, Brett. I'm going to set little reminders. Let's see. I'm going to go to maybe the timer or the alarm. Which one would be better? I guess the timer. Yeah, let's do the timer. And let's do. I'm going to do every 5 minutes. This is going to go off, and this is going to remind me to look at the chat because I'm not used to teaching and reading at the same time. So I'm used to people talking to me going, hey, hey. So today I'm going to actually try to remember to read your things. We got Mistro, you're a saint. All right, well, what more is there to say? So because I'm so totally unprepared, although I have reams of stuff to teach, literally reams, let's see. One of the things we can do is look at the song that I started that's called Kickin' and Screamin'. I'm going to look at that, and then I'm thinking of maybe coming up with some ideas on how to finish it and share with you how I would come up with some ideas. I'm starting a website that's called Wiki Songwriter. It's not up yet, but it's all very highly experimental. And so the idea is that it's going to be like a little cheat sheet for songwriters, like a rhyming dictionary, except it's going to be a songwriting dictionary. And you're going to be able to, like, if you're stuck, you can go into this website and just find different ideas to write about. And I will give you examples of what I'm talking about today. So let's try this wild experiment, shall we? Oh, by the way, if I ever do an impression of somebody, I'm doing it with them, not at them. Like I did a Trump impression, my last one, and I'm not making fun of him. I'm making fun with him. All right, so there's no political situation on this website because all soldiers and all civilians are beautiful people. Okay, so I just want to make that clear on tape so that we know that we're not trying to make fun of anyone, okay? We're just trying to have fun, not make fun, but have fun, okay? There's a difference. All right. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to go into my, well, let's start with this. Let's start with what I do with my vets in my Blair class at Vanderbilt. We start on the opening day by making a song map. So let's maybe try doing that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a blank sheet of paper. I'm going over there to get the sheet of paper. I'm never going to get used to doing things backwards. Never going to get used to it. Sorry. So I'm going to take this, right? And I'm going to draw on it. And make sure I don't draw on something that's already I want to make sure I've got some kind of paper down that's so that we don't all right. Okay, now what is a song map? Well, most songs have about 3 to 5 parts, right? So we're just going to go in the middle and say 4 parts. So, in other words, they have maybe 2 verses, maybe a chorus, then maybe a third verse, or a bridge, and then another chorus. So 2 verses, chorus, and bridge. That's 4 parts, right? Now we can have post-chorus. We can have an instrumental. You know, we can have a breakdown. You can have all these things going on, right? Looks like a turkey. All right. But we're going to just do 4, all right? So let's talk about what those 4 things could be, all right? First, I'm going to draw 4 in here, all right? I'm going to draw. All right, let's get 4. All right, I'm going to read, see if I've got anything going on over here. No? Okay, good, good. Why is it still making noise? That's weird. Huh, I thought I could repeat it. And, that's weird. It continued making noise. Okay. When the timer ends, reflection? No, I don't want reflection. When timer ends, I want nothing. I want 0, 0. Oh, all right, well, whatever. I'll figure that out later. Okay, we're going to make boxes here. I'm making boxes. All right. Can you see those boxes there? 4 boxes, all right? So if you've got a piece of paper, and you want to follow what I'm saying, get yourself some paper. And, oh, there's Tammy. Hey, Tammy. Glad you're following. Good to see you. Hey. Okay, this is, we can write here, song map, all right? Okay. Song map. All right. Now, let's figure out what we're going to put in there. Now, in the case of this song, one of these is going to be a chorus, right? So I'm going to write chorus on the 3rd one, okay? So we're going to number these going from left to right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we'll number them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now, in the 3rd one, I'm just going to write in there chorus because we're going to write a chorus song. All right? There's only 2 kinds of formats that we can write in on the macro level. All right, we can only write we can only write a chorus song or, a non-chorus song. Oh my God. Okay, but in this case, we're going to write a chorus song. And we'll talk about non-chorus songs in another episode down the trail. All right? But right now I'm going to write chorus in the third box. In the first two boxes, I'm going to write verse, right? Verse 1, verse 2. One, we're going to write a verse, V, and another one, verse. And then in the fourth box, let's just, for the sake of doing it, let's write bridge. Rather than a third verse, let's do a bridge. Because it'll be more fun to talk about. Bridge. All right, so this is what it looks like now. I got 1 verse, 2 verse, 3 chorus, and 4 bridge, all right? Now, I'm going to write the title of this, and I will tell you this, these things can change as you're writing your song. You can, when you get into it, you realize, I started one way, but I realized now that I've done all this writing that I've found a better title. Hey, it's okay. Change the title. But for now, I'm going to put in here, where's my, I have a few lyrics here. Where did they go? What did I do with them? Oh, I ate them up here. Hold on. Well, that was weird. That was only 3 minutes. Okay. Now I'm looking to see, as people talk to me, hello, yes, thank you for sharing. You're welcome. A space to chat with everyone. We're not streaming. Download course materials. Okay, good. All right. Just checking in to see if anybody's asking any questions. No questions so far. Okay, good. I'm looking for my lyrics sheet, wherever that went off to. Where did it go off to? Can't have gone far because I'm just right here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now, kicking and screaming is what we're calling it now. So I'll just put that here. Kicking and screaming. All right. Now, usually, and again, this is very, very generic, very overview-ish, but usually a chorus song, the verses have details, and traditionally, the chorus has the overview of what the details were about. And so you usually you're going to say, well, this is the theme of the song. So we interrupt the story to tell you what the theme of the song is. And then in the fourth, in the second one, in the bridge, we're going to go, oh, okay. And what we're probably going to do is do one verse, chorus, second verse, chorus, and then the bridge, and then another chorus. Why? Because we want 3 choruses. Traditionally, we want to hear 3 choruses. There are some songs that only have 2, but that's rare, so we're going to just stay with what we know. We're going to do 3. So I'm going to put chorus times 3. Times 3. All right. So verse 1, and then we're going to put a chorus in here. I'll put a little arrow, chorus. And verse 2. All right. All right, good. And then the verse 2 will be chorus and the bridge. Now, we're talking about what can go in here. What can go in the verses? Well, let's review the kind of lyric that we can write. There's 4 categories of lyric, right? There is physical writing, which is everything that's in the real world. That includes descriptions, actions, and conversations. Those are the three things that we can talk about in the real world. All right. And that means past, present, future, ongoing, present, but in the real world out there, these are the three things, the three elements of physical writing. Okay. Oh, and four, of course, the senses, right? Yeah. You know about the senses, the five senses? Yeah. Everybody knows them. It's tequila, gin, vodka, beer, and wine. Five senses. So we're probably going to talk about details. So we want to deal with, and it's really nice to know these things, that we have these things to work with. So I'm going to write them down up in the corner here. The physical writing, I'm just going to have that as a reference. All right, so I'm going to write physical writing, just PHY, physical. We have descriptions. Descriptions, actions, and conversations. All right. Okay, there we are. Up in the corner there. Descriptions, actions, and conversations. That's the physical world, right? Okay. And then besides the physical world, we have three other categories. The one that we all know and what's used more than anything else in the pop world, what is it? Does anyone know? Does anyone want to type in where I'm going with this? Where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? Anybody? I'll give you a minute to think about it. I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nobody's going to try on it. Okay. What we're going for is emotions, right? So we have emotions. The physical world, then we have emotions. That's feelings, right? Yeah, the hook, absolutely. Yep. The hook is the title. It's the main. It's what the theme is. We're talking about theme there, and the theme could be the theme. The hook could be either physical, emotional, symbolic, or conclusive. It could be any one of those 4, right? So the next one is symbols, right? Physical, emotions. And then 3 is symbols. You can also call them figurative writing. It's called that. In other words, the physical and the emotional, that's what we call physical writing or literal writing. And then symbolic writing is figurative writing, right? So things like, I'm going to the Big Apple. Well, you're not going to go to a giant apple. No, you're just not going to do it. You're going to go to New York, right? Okay. Symbols. We're all dust in the wind. Symbols. And then the last but not least is, and very important, is conclusive writing, which we're probably going to do in this chorus, right? So we're going to go conclusive. 4, conclusive. All right. So there's that, right? Okay. So what we're going to put in this guy right here is we're going to think about a little storyline, right? Because it opens with, I came into this world kicking and screaming, didn't know which way was up. So I started with physical writing, describing what I was like, And then I said, didn't know which way was up, which is an emotional line. Started from down, went all around, ended up getting cut, right? So now we've got, again, that's a symbolic, that's a little bit of symbolism there. You know, started from down, went all around, ended up getting cut. Well, I didn't actually get cut, but we know what it means, right? Let me just set my alarm again. Let's try the alarm. Oh no, those are not. No, those aren't any good. Let's not do that one. Let's do maybe stopwatch. Will do it. Oh, I see. Stopwatch. No, that's no good. Timer. So I guess we're back to the timer. Start. Okay. Feelings. Yes, somebody said feelings here. Yes, feelings are emotions. That's in here. We've got feelings. Whoops. We got feelings listed here. Right there. Emotions. Yeah. Absolutely. Feelings are super duper important. Super important. As you know, so many songs, especially in the pop world, like I say, are loaded with emotions. And I will mention to you, and when I think of things, you know, I'm just going to throw them out there because this is kind of songwriting on the fly, right? When we're writing a song that's mostly emotional, there's several things I want to keep in mind. The first thing is that music is going to dominate because emotions are finite. How many ways can you say, I love you? Right? I mean, there's, you know, I love you, I adore you, think the world of you, I like you a lot, you know, and I cherish you, but you're going to run out. Emotions are finite. But guess what's not finite? Guess what is infinite? Infinite. Details, right? The details of our lives. The real world is literally infinite. It never ends. The descriptions, the actions, and the conversations that go on around us and inside of us, you know, you have an inner voice that also talks, and, you know, so there's just a lot going on there. So what we've got in our first verse is a combination of physical writing and emotional writing, right? Now, descriptions, actions, and conversations. We also have something we haven't talked about in the physical world. We've also got settings, right? So let's write down settings. And settings are like, you know, wherever this physical thing is taking place, right? We also have, and this is a big one, this is a real big one, time, right? Because in the real world, time is going by, right? Whereas in our emotional world, time isn't necessarily an issue at all. You know, I can say, I've always loved you, I'll always love you, and you're the best thing in my life. We're just talking about the way things are. There is no time element involved. But when you're in the real world, you're either past, present, or future, or ongoing, right? So we're going to put time in here. And under time, we're going to list past, present, and future. Past, present, and future. And I'm also going to put ongoing present. And I start one of those by saying, whenever I blank, 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 I feel or I do blank, blank, blank. So that's whenever she, whenever they, that's the ongoing, right? And so that's an important one. On going. All right. Now, I've started this song in the past. It says, came into this world kicking and screaming, didn't know which way was up. Started from down, went round and round, ended up getting cut. All right. But it's still in the past tense. Ended up getting cut is still, it could be in the recent past, but it's still in the past. So in the second verse, so that's kind of a backstory, right? So now in this second verse, I could write about how I am now. Let's do descriptions, right? Like, like maybe, let's see. Well, before I do that, let's be reminded of. Okay, we want to cancel. When timer ends, I wonder why it's not stopping. That's so weird. This thing is acting so weird. So weird. Stop playing. That's so weird. I don't know why it's acting so strange. I've even... timer. Wow, I have no idea what's wrong with the timer. Hilarious. Oh, something's hilarious. Okay. Wow. Well, that timer was really strange. Let me look over here and see if somebody has made any comments lately. No, not lately. Okay, good. So we're moving on. I want to go to my voice messages, and let's listen to what I came up with as far as a melody. Voice memos, okay. Let's see, where is this thing? When did it happen? It happened... just chime in now. Let's see. It would have to be... I wonder if it's this one here. Let's see. I'm looking for... Okay, we're rolling. No, that's not it. Here's one here. Let's try this one. Okay, you're rolling. Okay. No, it's not that one either. Wow. It must have accidentally got erased. Well, that's a darn shame. I don't know how that happened. But I'll have to go back. What I'll have to do is I'll have to go back and listen to the last, the last session I did, which is on, by the way, thank you for supporting CreatiVets, all those people out there who are donating. Thank you so much. But CreatiVets has a channel on YouTube, so we can go on that channel, and I will go back and listen to whatever this melody was. But in the meantime, I can write a verse. I can just write a lyrical verse based on this information that I have here. Let's talk about, so what I'm going to do is in the second verse, just draw a line here. So this will be one. I seem to remember something about this Let me just put on this thing. I might be able to recreate it a little bit, and you know, who knows? Who cares, right? I mean, it's just us. So this may end up being totally not what I did, but I'm one of these people that just can think of stuff on the fly, right? So I want to make sure you can see my guitar. So I'm going to try to back up enough. Now, how do you hear that? Does everybody hear that okay? It says here, the world hurt your feelings. Yeah, yes, yes. The world hurt your feelings. That's right. Oh, we do have a line for the end of the chorus. It says, I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming, right? So the whole world is kicking and screaming, right? So I remember I did something very tricky on this one. I started on the flat 7. Now, I talk in Nashville number systems, so for those of you who need to know, the Nashville number system, very quickly, it's just the scale, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Those are the 7 notes, 8 notes if you include the octave. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is the same note as the 1, but it's an octave higher. All right? So when I say the flat 7, I mean I'm going down from the 1. There's the 1. Down a half tone. See, there's the 7. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But I'm going to go down to a flat 7. And the flat 7 is a fun chord. I'm going to start there. So I came into this world kicking and screaming, didn't know which way was up. Started down, went round and round, ended up getting cut. Yes, I ended up getting cut. By the way, just so you know, I'm using my faithful 3-string capo, and I'm tuned down to D. So when I play any chord on here, like I'll take it off here for a minute. Like here's the E position, but that's actually D because I'm tuned a whole step down. But the guitar is in normal tuning, a whole step down. And what that does is that allows me extra notes, extra low notes that I can't get if it was tuned to E. And I can even tune it down to C. I can take this low one and go boom. So that's down to C. So that's really nice. You get a nice, you get all this, all these extra low notes if you tune it down a whole step. Take it down even more. Here we go. No, so that I think that was pretty much kind of what we had come up with. But watch this. Just for the sake of experimentation, let's stretch that out to make it a whole verse. Just because we're kind of crazy. All right? So I'm going to experiment. Yes, I came into this world kicking and screaming, didn't know which way was up. I went. So just these two notes. Also, I'm playing, because this guitar is not changed tuning, I can still play all the normal chords that I would normally play. Like here's a D. That's just a D position. This is a G position. And here's an A position, which is the 1, 4, 5 of, there's the 1, right? 1, and I've purposely not playing, I'm not going to play that note, I'm going to leave it open. So I'm just going to play these two right here, this one and this one, like that, right? Just with my two fingers there. So I've got this one at the ready, you know. Oh, look at that little finger getting there. And then so came into this world kicking and screaming. I didn't know which way was up. Or I can go, I came into this world kicking and screaming. You get screaming going up because screaming is obviously screaming, right? So I decided to go up on that word. So that's called prosody. I'm letting my voice emotionally represent the lyric, right? So I came into this world kicking and screaming, and I didn't know which way was up. Started from down, went round and round and round and round. I ended up getting cut. There was the whole verse right there if we wanted it to be. So now I can go into a chorus. Now I'm ending with, I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming, right? So now we're discovering things. So, and I will start that chorus on a different chord. Like I started the verse on the flat 7, which is a C position. I don't know if you checked that out, but this is C. You know, there's C, there's the normal C. The low note doesn't fit, so I'm not going to play the low note. Now I'm just leaving this finger. I'm leaving this finger right there. This one right here. I'm leaving that one alone. I'm just going to put my ring finger on this one. Which is the G. It's really cool, isn't it? Don't you love that? It's so awesome. So now let's see what we're going to do with this chorus. We're going to end with, I found out this whole world is screaming. Well, let's go to our emotions, and also under emotions you can write attitude, because that's part of the emotional spectrum, isn't it? Like I can have an attitude. When you can see this song's very attitude, isn't it? A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E. Attitude. Now, I'm going to do what's called key writing, because I know that my last line, or at least I think my last line is going to be, I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming. All right? So now I found out something. I'm going to key off of that found out, and I'm going to go backwards and think, well, so you thought one thing, but then you found out the whole world was screaming. So let's just say I thought I was the only one, right? So I came into this world kicking and screaming, didn't know which way was up. Started from down, went round and round, ended up getting cut, right? So how about if I say, I thought I was the only one that was bleeding, right? Because cut, again, I'm keying on the word cut, and I'm keying on the future word I found out, right? That the whole world, I found out the whole world was feeling this way. So I'm going to write something like, I thought that I was, let's see, I found out this whole world. I found out this whole world is kicking in and screaming. I found out this whole world. I thought I was the only one bleeding. I thought I was the only one was bleeding, right? So this is chorus, verse 1, all right? I thought and this can all change. This is just kind of a rough beginning. I thought I was the only one, and one was bleeding. I was the only one was bleeding. I'm not going to say that was bleeding. I think we can just jump. I'll write that in parentheses, but I don't think we need it. I thought I was the only one that was bleeding. Well, maybe it was the only one bleeding. And now we can describe, how are you bleeding? Oh, this is a good thing to remember. We have the tricks, the newspaper tricks, and I'll write those down on the other side. We have who, what, where, when, why, and how. Let's just write those down. So we're going to do, this is like when you're writing a newspaper article. They say you want to know who, what, where, when, why, and how. Those are the 5 blinga-blingas, right? Very important newspaper blinga-blings. Okay. Feelings were, okay, still no comments. Good. All right. All right. So who, what, where, when, and why. All right. So when I say I thought I was the only one bleeding, how bad was that? You could say, well, it was. See, and I'm looking also to see my rhyming scheme. I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming. Now I could rhyme with world, so I could go da 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 and girl, da 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 unfurled. But I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming. All right, so I could do that, and I've got bleeding, which rhymes with screaming. Oh, how interesting is that? Bleeding, screaming. Ooh, we have a rhyme. So now I'm thinking, do I want to put this line, maybe the second line of the chorus, so I could get that to match up kicking and screaming? I feel like I need to have a little something first before I get to the rhyme part. So like, da 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 da, I thought I was kicking and a bleeding, and I found out dun 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 ba bum dun dun dun, kicking and screaming. You see what I mean? I want to have some stuff before, if I'm going to do that. Maybe I could say, I thought I was the only one that was damaged, the only one that was bleeding, right? So I thought I was a lonely one, the only one that was bleeding. I thought I was. So I'm going to change so that the verse started off on the flat 7. So let's start the chorus on either the 4 or the 5, because the verse ends on the 1. So I don't want to necessarily start the chorus on the one because we landed at the end of the verse on the one. So let's go to the four because that's a real easy one, right? And we talked in earlier episodes, we talked about the four is the rowdy teenager of the one. Like the one is the tonic, that's the dad. And then the mom is the friendly chord. This is the 1, 4, 5 is the three chords that all Western music is based on. So the one is the dad, that's the key we're going to land on at the end, and we're going to start at the beginning. And then the 5 gets along really well with the 1. So listen to this. See how nice those two really sound very cozy, right? Like something's going on that we don't know about, maybe. They got something going on, right? But how about this 4? Now let's do the 1 and the 4 and see how those feel. Hello there, Lanny. See, can you see there's a little bit of a sort of a teenage, like I'm definitely in the same family. You can see I look just like my mom, but I've got my own personality. I got my own ideas, right? So it's the rowdy teenager of the family. And so a lot, is now hosting my screen with 5. Oh, good. Thank you. Hey, people. Welcome aboard this songwriting craziness that we're in the middle of. We're in the middle of, I'm explaining to everyone how I'm going about writing the song, and we're doing this here song map. We're going to fill out this song map with all these different aspects, and we haven't begun to even start to fill that out yet, but I wanted to get on to writing the song, actually. So we're now talking about the song. And again, it's great because you can rewind this tape when you get on CreatiVets channel on YouTube, which I hope you will join. And anyone's allowed to join. You don't have to be a vet, but we hope all vets get on there and convert their warrior mentality into a creative mentality. And I hope these little tapes help out on that. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, so we want to start on the 4, which is cool because it's the rowdy teenager, right? So I'm putting a little bit of angst by going to the 4. Bruce Springsteen does 1, 4, 1, 4 a lot, okay? All right? Wow, okay. Things are really cool. Thank you, Johnny and Heidi. Thank you so much. Yep, I hope everybody's well. I need to grab one of those. Oh, yeah, you do. Dad Gad capos. It's a 3-string capo. I'll show you what it looks like. I can't get used to this thing. That's what it looks like. Can you see real close? Like, you see it's shorter and it has a little hole right in here, right? Right in there is a little hole. That's so it won't touch the low string, and it's going to hold down the 3 strings, and it makes instant dadgad, like that. And I use it a lot just because I love the angst of that. And you'll notice a lot when I use this capo that I hardly ever move this finger. This finger, which is on the B, it's part of the D. It's part of the D chord. So if I made a full D chord, it would sound like this. That's a full D chord, but I'm going to lift off the E string, so I get a. Those are unisons. So I have nothing playing here but 1 and 5. 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 1, right? 3 octaves. There's a low octave, 1. There's the 8, and 3 eighths are 24. So yeah. Did I do that right? 1, 8. Oh, maybe it's 16. 16. Yeah. You're right. That confused me a little. Sorry. All right. So we're going to start on the 4. Thought I was the only one that was crying. Thought I was the only one that's bleeding. But I found I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming. Woo! Woo! I like it so much I'm going to do it again. So, I thought I was the only one that was lonely. Thought I was the only one that was bleeding. But these are all going to be now. This is all going to be rhyming with world, right? Found out I guess so but I found when hurt's concerned. Not alone in her, 'cause I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming. See what I'm going to do? So I'm going to look for 2 end rhymes that sound like It can be earled, or it can be earl, or it can be erd. But I finally got the word. Look around, it's under. Yes, I found out whole world. Found out this whole world. Kicking and screaming. So I would go on Wiki Rhymer and I would try to find rhyme words that fit in with what I'm trying to say. I thought I was the only one crying, right? The only one. I'll put crying. The only one, what did I also say? The only one that was, I could say that was lonely. Only one that was missing. Well, I was the only one desperate. Desperate's not a great word, is it? Desperate. It doesn't. Desperate. That might be better. I don't know. Thought I was the only one crying. Thought I was the only one to bleed. I could say only one that bleeds. Now, yeah, this is another thing that you want to know. And again, someday we'll go deep into all this stuff. But right now, because I didn't have a whole lot of time to get ready, because I was out giving food to poor people that were struggling. With Brad Paisley's has a store called, are you ready? It's a real tricky word. He calls his store the store. So it's free food for people that are having a hard time, and but some of those free food people don't have a car and don't have a way to get to the store. So that's what I do: is I go to the store, and I pick up the food and I deliver it to them. So that's what I've been doing all day, and so I'm just. So this session is kind of just we're hanging out and we're writing, right? This is a songwriting thing, so we're writing. And as I come up with ideas, I'm showing you little tricks and things. So this little trick I'm about to show you is, we're going to start the chorus again. I thought I was the only one that was crying. Thought I was the what just happened? Okay, I'll tell you what happened. That felt pretty good, didn't it? Now, the reason it felt good was I had a feminine ending on the first line. Feminine ending meaning, somebody's coming here, thank you for giving back. Hey, love to do it, love to do it. It's God's world, I'm just passing through, right? The end of the first line, I thought I was the only one crying, right? Now, cry is where the stress is, and in is non-stress. There's no stress on that. I don't go cry-in. I went cry-in. Now, that leaves a dangling syllable at the end of the line. The ear doesn't really want to hear that. The ear wants to hear bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. It doesn't want to hear it. Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-da-dum. Doesn't want to hear that. So when I do a da-dum, that's a feminine ending, and the feminine ending desperately wants to be resolved on the next line. So that's why I'm going to play both of them for you, and you can tell me, you're going to know. Hey there, we got Hyperbot, Wobbit's mom. Oh, Wobbit's mom. Hey, Wobbit's mom. You're following, which I guess that means you're tuned into this. What's going on? I think following means you're here. So let me play both of them for you, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I thought I was the only one that was crying. Thought I was the only one to bleed. All right, that's one. Now I'm going to try it with, watch what happens this next one. I thought I was the only one that was crying. Thought I was the only one that was bleeding. You see how that bleed in? I did another feminine ending. And you get that feeling like, it didn't resolve. So I created more tension, right? And I also set up the rhyme at the end, which is kicking and a screaming, right? So we'll play with that as we go, but we need 2 more lines here. So I thought I was the only one crying, I thought I was the only one bleeding, or that, I thought I was the only one to bleed. It could be to bleed. I'll write that down too. So we have a choice, right? To bleed. Now, and then I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming, right? So now I could do da 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 Earl, unfurl. I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming, right? So I thought I was the only one crying. I thought I was the only one to bleed. But then so now I'm going to go to the concept first. I always go to the concept first, unless a rhyme word just pops up that works really well, in which case then I would do that. But a word's not popping up right now that rhymes with world, because world's kind of hard to rhyme. But I like the challenge of a hard to rhyme word. I like it. So let's see what we can do. We're going to obviously we're going to go with a soft rhyme. So the soft rhyme possibilities would be Earl, Erd, Erg, herb, so I smoked a little herb. Is that all right to say on CreatiVets? I know in California it's legal, so. But I smoked a little herb, changed my home, where I'm down at herb. I found out this whole world kicking and screaming. Herb, yeah, okay. We've got approval. Johnny and Heidi said yes, herb. So we're going to go with herb. All right. So now maybe we smoked a little herb, or we could say I got involved with a little herb. So maybe not being so obvious like I smoked it. I could say, you know, like I stumbled on some herb. I gave myself some herb. I had myself some herb. I smoked a little herb. I'm just going to go smoked with. I'm going to be radical, okay? But later I might change it, not to be quite as in your face. But right now, and awesome ketchup. I think I'm welcoming you aboard here. Let's go and see. Do we have ketchup in there? Has he come on? I don't see that you have yet. Okay, no. No. Wine's fine, but it takes my time. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm looking back at some of these deals here. All right. I prefer mustard. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's opposed to mustard gas, I'm assuming. Although I do get gas oftentimes when I eat mustard. Oops. We're on the air. We got to be careful. Okay. So I smoked a little herb. And I look around, and what I saw and what I heard, then I smoked, it's either then or but. I'm not sure which. Smoked a little herb. Smoked a little herb, and what I saw and heard, and then I, surprised at what I saw and heard, something like that. And what I saw and heard. I'm trying to figure out how to get the saw and heard, because I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming. But, then I smoked a little herb, and what I saw and what I heard, to what I saw and what I heard, added a little herb. Oh, and then I added a little herb. See how we're rewriting? Then I added a little herb to what I saw and what I heard. I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming, okay? You see how we're going with this? See what we're doing? Isn't this awesome? Yeah, let's just, come on. You can say it. It's awesome. So, I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one was crying. Thought I was the only one that was bleeding. But I added a little herb to what I saw and what I heard. Found out this whole world kicking and screaming. This whole world is kicking and screaming. So I started off going to the 3 to the 4, and then I went 3, and I thought I might go back to the 1. I thought I was the only one that was crying. You have to stretch that line out a little bit more. I thought I was the only one that was bleeding. Then I added a little herb to to what I saw and what I heard. When I found out this whole world's kicking and screaming. Oh, kicking and screaming. Oh, I was kicking and screaming. Hey, kicking and screaming. Did you see I went behind? Oh yeah, I didn't show you that. I went behind. See how I lifted my finger? And screaming. So going to the 3 to the 4. Just those 2 notes. Just here and here and here and here. Just those 2 notes. So I thought I was the only one that was crying. Yeah. Thought I was the only one to bleed. We're trying it with with a masculine ending. To bleed. Then I had a little herb to what I saw and what I heard. Found out this whole world kicking and screaming. Kicking and screaming. Now watch this. Kicking and screaming. All the night. Kicking and screaming, kicking and screaming, kicking and screaming, or here, kicking and screaming. Yes. Johnny makes a note that the 3-string capo is a lot more versatile than Dadgad. Yeah, I think it might be. Honest, I've never done Dadgad, other than this. This is the only way I've ever done Dadgad. So I don't know what it's really like to be in Dadgad. I've never bothered, because why bother? I've got it right here, right? And you can also slide way up here, like you can stay, because we're staying in the same tuning. This is the A position of E. Whoa! It's the only part where it's hard is. It's hard to kind of do that because this thing's kind of in the way, but yeah. So I thought was the only one that was crying. Thought I was the only one dying to bleed, left to bleed. But I added up, but I smoked me a little herb to what I saw and what I heard. Found out this whole world is kicking and screaming, yeah, kicking and screaming. It's how we like screaming, kicking and screaming. So you have choices. I could go scream. That's the 2. scream, scream, kicking in a scream. That's the 3. 1, 2, 3, 3. Or I could do an inversion of the 1. The first inversion, so now instead of the 1 being the bottom note, I'm going to make the 3 the bottom note. 1, 2, 3, 3. And I put this finger on the G string, 2 frets up, and then my middle finger. I kept that there. It made a suspended 5. You know, a suspended. I think that's a sus4, suspended 4. See, yeah, 1, 5, 1, 3, 4. So it's a 4, suspended 4, which gives it a lot of angst. You know, and remember we talked about how the 5, it gets along so well with the 1. Well, now it's a little angsty now, isn't it? Isn't it? Play. So now this is kind of a soft. It's not as angsty, so that's a scream. Kicking in a scream. Now we're going to go up to the minor 6. Kicking in a screaming. Ah, that's up here on the. That's on the well, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fret, and then I'm putting the this finger on the 2 frets up on the 2 frets from the capo on the D string, and I'm blocking. I'm finger blocking the A string, so all you get is because that doesn't fit. So I'm basically just playing those 3 notes. This note, that note, and that note. That's right there on the B string. Same fret as my ring finger, which is the first inversion of the 2. Watch, here's the 2. That's actually the 2/7. There's the 2. Blocking that one. So it's a little difficult to make the 2 major. It's real easy to make the minor. Just you have to make a little more effort to get that. So this is the first inversion. 1, 3, because 1, 3, 5, 1. That's the major. A major chord is a 1, 3, 5, and a 1. So the first inversion from the 1 would be the 3. 1, 3, 5. So the next inversion would be, let's see. Oh, I can't do it. Never mind, it's too confusing. We're just going to stay with it. So it's nice because you can walk down, watch. Walk down from the minor 6. I'm just pedaling off of, I'm leaving my fingers in the, there's the minor. Again, there's a lot of blocking going on. I'm finger blocking with my baby finger that note because it doesn't fit. I just lifted that one up. And then which is the same as this chord, except it's an inversion. But it's begging you to go down one more, right? This is a leading. This inversion is very unstable, and it wants so desperately to go to something. So if I'm leading it on, so I'm leading it down, so it wants to go down a half step. See, that makes sense, doesn't it? So let's see. Bleeding, yeah, yeah. Kicking and a bleeding, kicking and a bleed, kicking and a bleed. Oh, kicking and a bleed, turning and mute. So we could do da-da-da. Donna, can't you see? It's always gonna be kicking and screaming. Oh, isn't that cool? Donna, can't you see? So this is kind of like a post. So we're gonna, baby, can't you see? Baby is a great word. You can fill in two things. You can throw baby in anywhere, and it immediately helps you, fill in a spot, right? Baby, can't you see? Baby, can't you see? It's always going to be. It's always going to be. Kicking and screaming. K and S C. Kicking and screaming. It's always going to be kicking and screaming. Yeah. So the chorus is going to end. This is a real interesting little part here now. Let me just read here. Let's see if we've got anything that people have been asking. Why way more versatile, right? Okay, and okay. Just want to make sure no one's making a comment here. All right, good. And this is a tricky part, which maybe I'm going to have to rewrite. Possibly I may have to rewrite the chorus when I come up on it the second time, because it says, I thought I was the only one crying, thought I was the only one to bleed, or only one bleeding. If I want it extra angsty, it would be bleeding. If I want to resolve it, I'd go the only one to bleed. But I smoked me a little herb, what I saw and what I heard. Found out this whole world is kicking and screaming. Kicking and screaming, kicking and screaming, kicking and screaming. Baby, can't you see it's always going to be kicking and screaming. That's a long chorus, right? It didn't have to be that long, but hey, it just turned out that way. That's how our creative process is working today. Tomorrow, I might have written a shorter verse. Who knows? So we go with what we got, and this is what the universe is giving me right now, so we're going to roll with it. So we're going to have, let me just put this down for a sec. We're going to have an issue, because if I use the chorus the same, I thought I was the only one crying. So we'd have to go back to being lonely, or thinking that, I was the only one, right? I thought I was the only one. But we've definitely made the point that I'm not the only one, the whole world is. And not only that, it's always going to be, right? Kicking and screaming. So this might be a lesson in in writing backwards, okay? Writing backwards. So what are we going to say if I weren't going to rewrite that? What would I say just before? In the second verse, what would I say just before? I thought I was the only one crying. I thought I was the only one to bleed. So he thought he was lonely, right? So we'll go and review the first verse, and then you can see my little scribbles here. Let's see if you can see this. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? This is my song so far. I just happen to be writing on a with a red pen, so it's kind of hard to see. But at least you can pause. You know, if you're watching this on a video, you can pause and write all that down. We could talk about we could talk about other examples like I thought I was, I thought I was alone, like things that are always alone. I thought I was an eagle flying through the clouds, but that's a pretty, what's the word, dramatic or like a. That's eagle is like royal, right? So I don't think that would work. Thought I was the only one. So you could go through a crowd and you're asking people, and they were not on your same page at all, because maybe they were fighting and they weren't getting along, which is. There's a lot of that going on in this world, and I guess there always will be, won't there? That has become cold. So over here, I have a microwave. Can you see that microwave? I'm going to scoot on over here, and I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to hit, let's see, 40 might be enough. We're going to do that. And I could rewrite that chorus, and I could say, I'll never be the one. I'll never be the only one crying. I'll never be the only one to bleed. Oh. Sorry about that. I get a lot of crank calls. So I could say that. Now someone's making a comment. Is it possible to become a ghost before you're dead? Whoa, big thought, dude. Footlong just smacked me. God smacked me. Is that right? God smacked me? God smacked me. That's a pretty heavy and cool thought. I will say that's a dang good thought right there. So I have a choice of doing that. I could rewrite the chorus, and I will tell you another. I will tell you another trick that is kind of cheating, and we do use every now and then, but it's very rare. I would only do it like once every. If I were an artist, I would only do it once every maybe every 3 albums, if that. And that is, try repeating the first verse. See if you can get away with it. I came into this world kicking and screaming. I didn't know which way was up. Started from down, went round and round, ended up getting cut. I thought I was the only one crying. I thought I was the only one to bleed. But I smoked me a little herb, and what I saw and what I heard, found out this whole world's kicking and screaming. Baby, can't you see? It's always going to be kicking and screaming. So what you have to do is what I have to do is I have to brainstorm how I'm gonna get back to. I thought I was the only one, or I know I'm not the only one. I'll never be the only one crying. I know I'll never be the only one to bleed. Let's all smoke a little herb. Let's add to what we saw and heard and find out this whole world's kicking and screaming. And we could even rewrite, say, we could stop this whole world from kicking and screaming if we really wanted to kind of get all, uppity. I was trying to think of a way to add that ghost before I'm dead thing in there, because that's very cool. Because see, where we are in a song like this is where we could give it. What was I going to say? Um, the chorus is is going to "I thought I was," so we have to figure out a way to get back to that, right? Uh, Added up a little herb, see what I heard. So we could find out maybe an example, like somebody that's lonely, also like me. Um, I'm going back to that first verse. Came into this world. Uh, we could continue our storyline. We could go into an adulthood, right? We could say, I ended out, I found out this street. I found out found out this whole street is is something and empty. Maybe I came into this world kicking and screaming, didn't know which way was up. So I'm repeating my trying to memorize my cadence, my line length. Came into this world, da 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 da, didn't know which way was up. So when I hit the street, I was something into something, uh, and I tried to relate to Bing, but I found out something da 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 da, and that could be that ghost idea that you had could go in that third and fourth line maybe. Uh, I could also do an example like I can't think of one right now. Somebody, like a mountain man is alone. Um, um, a bear is alone. A lot of animals are alone. We could pick an animal that's typically alone. I felt like a bear roaming on top of a mountain. I felt like a bear uh, looking for something. I felt like a something this and that. Or like I said before, the idea of so we could do or going into adulthood. I think I like that one better. Okay, got a went out on the street, trying to I went out, went out on the street looking for a living, right? Um, Went out on the street looking for a living. Or it could be looking for a killing. And I'm going to put killing in there just because it's real. It's a real angsty, and it may be looking for a killing, like looking for a sucker maybe, because you were born kicking and screaming. So maybe you're kind of a tough person, right? So now I'm starting to see, oh yeah, this could be a guy who thinks he's pretty cool, and he's actually not the only one. So actually he could get busted. I went out on the street looking for a killing because I knew because there's something about was born a fool, right? Like because there's so many born, because something was born a fool. Because I think it was went out on the street looking for a killing. Knowing I could find a mark, right? Oh, and that's nice, knowing I could find a mark. And guess what goes with mark? Dark. Ooh, that's nice. Knowing I could find a mark. looking for a sound. See, what we want to have him do is we want to have him tricked by the mark, right? So that's why I thought I was the only one crying. You know, I ended up, you know, there I was back again crying. The only one, and then there I was bleeding again. Then I smoked a little herb, and what I saw, what I heard, I found out this whole world is kicking and screaming. So we're almost home, aren't we? Went out on the street looking for a killing. Came into this world kicking and screaming. Went out on the street looking for a killing, knowing I could find a mark. I threw the dice a couple times. I threw the dice. I threw them twice, maybe. I used to be, but all I got was dark. Threw the dice, looking for the light. The only thing, it all came out. Threw the dice, looking for the light. This is again key writing, because I knew I was going to try to rhyme dark, and so the opposite of dark is light. So I threw the dice, looking for the light, or looking for a fight. And all I got. I like the looking for a fight too. I'm going to write that down. Threw the dice. I threw them twice. I threw the dice, looking for the light. See, I don't know which one it's going to be yet. We're looking for a fight. But the street turned dark. You know, something like that, or something cool turned out to be dark, but all the light turned into dark. I thought I was the only one crying. So this is 2. Went out on the street. Let's see where we are so far. Let's see. I got. Let's see. We got some. We got a comment here on Footlong. He's saying, "I don't think life is absurd. I think we are all here for a huge purpose. I think we shrink from the immensity of the purpose we are here for." Yes, that is true. That is true. That's a very good thing. Absolutely. And which brings out a good point. If there was a way to turn this song and have some kind of a positive message. I was kind of going for this guy thought he was cool, you know, but it ended up, you know, I was kind of going for the Steve Earle kind of vibe on this song, thinking that, thinking that it was going to be kind of a dark song and it was going to stay dark. But that's a very interesting point, Footlong. Very good. Obviously, you must be a songwriter, and I thank you for being here. And your comments are fantastic. So let's see where I am. I remember we started on the flat 7. Went out on the street, came into this world, kicking it. Look down, look around, let's go. I have to remember now, I've been. Thought I was the only one that's crying. Came into this world kicking and screaming, didn't know which way was up. Started from down, went all around, up getting cut. Oh, I know what I did. I know I stretched it out really long. I went, came to this world kicking and screaming. That's what I did. I didn't know which way was up. Oh, that's right. So I went out on the street looking for a killing, knowing I didn't know which way was up, was up. Well, I wish I'd recorded it because now I can't remember how I did it. But at least I can play around with this after we sign off. And in fact, I can go back to what we recorded. But I've got a lyric here that's going to fit. And your idea about Footlong's idea about that we're here for a huge purpose is true. I don't know for sure if we can fit it into this particular song, but there may be a way to do it. There may be a way to do it. There could be some redemption in here. You know, I've been studying Buddhism along with my Christian learnings, which I love, and I believe that Christ went east in his younger years and studied with the Buddhists, and then came back and combined Buddhism with the Old Testament and came up with the Christian way of thinking. But a lot of what Buddhists say, a lot of has to do with suffering, and suffering softens you and makes you compassionate to yourself and to the world. So we might be able to figure out that, like if the world's kicking and screaming, we can learn to live in peace with the kicking and screaming, right? And so that could be a thing to do. I went out on the street looking for a killing, but I never found. Maybe I could say we could keep the story going faster by saying, but I never could find a mark. But I realized something was the only way out of the dark, right? It was the only way ended up getting cut. I'm going to just write only way out of the dark. Okay, and I might say never could find a mark, or maybe I was the only mark. I went out on the street looking for a killing and realized I was the only mark, you know. Realized I was the only mark. Going to take this fight and turn it to the light. That's the only way out of the dark. So I took the fight. So I took the fight into the light. That's the only way out of the dark. Was the only way out of the dark. So I took the fight into the light. That's the only way out of the dark. And then I thought I was the only one crying. Thought I was the only one to bleed. I was trying to figure out if there was a way to get a good a positive comment, because herb and herd, girl rhymes also. So I could say, you know, I found myself a girl. She was uh, she was my whole world. And then oh, how about what else is kicking and screaming? A baby coming into the world, right? Right? We got Footlong saying every moment of one's existence is growing into more or retreating into less. Right. One is always living a little more or dying a little bit. That's absolutely right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good, man. You're crushing it. You're crushing it, dude. You're totally crushing it. I'm gonna have to sign off for now, but you can see, you know, how one guy kind of wrestles with one idea, trying to stay on track, trying to make the second verse work as good as the first, and I think we're on our way to something. So I'll put this up here so you can copy it down. Let's see if we can get it in there. There we go. So you get there. We are. All right. That's what it looks like. So now you can pause and go back and see where we're going. But thank you Footlong. Appreciate your wonderful input. That was very nice, and I appreciate you all being here today. And I'm going to be here every Tuesday and Friday at around 1 o'clock. Today I was helping deliver food, so it ended up being more like 3:30. So you know, you got to just check in, and we'll figure it out. You know, maybe I'll end up doing it every day. Maybe 3 is a better time than 1. We're just going to play it by ear. But I sure enjoy doing this, and I sure enjoy. Oh, Ken took some notes. Good. Well, that's great, man. Thank you, Ken. I'll stay here for just a minute if people want to make some comments. I can answer them. If anybody has questions now, you know, you can type them in the chat thing, and be careful. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got. I don't know how many of you people are in Nashville, but the distilleries, the little local distilleries have shut down their making of booze, and they're making hand sanitizer. So I stood in line in a car for an hour and a half to get me some fresh made, right out of the distillery, hand sanitizer that was made literally this morning, right? And they're still cranking it out, trying to get it to hospitals and everywhere else. The place that I went to, there's Corsair is one of them. Corsair. It's a local Nashville one. And another one is Pennington, Pennington, Pennington Distillers. Okay, and that's where I was today. And they just didn't, you know, I went there yesterday to get some, and they said they were out, but show up at 1. And so I did show up at 1, and it turns out they had plenty. So that was good. I thought they were going to run out while I was sitting in the car. But no, when I got there, they had no sign of running out. They were still just cranking it out there, so that's good. And thank you all. I see that Mr. 2 is thanking me. Well, thank you, Mr. 2, for being here. And I will see you again on Tuesday. We'll continue with lessons, with songwriting. I might even play you this song. It might be finished then. I might play it for you to start the thing off, and we can see how I rewrote it. And then we can get into some lessons. You know, we'll continue with this song map, because we haven't even gotten halfway through this. We started on it, but then we got involved. Let's see, no, it's on this side. We got involved in other things, right? It's so hard to do it. Here we are. Who was it? Leroy. Leroy was here. If any of you guys are remember World War II, Leroy, they used to draw that. They drew Leroy on all the you know, all over the place, on all the vacant walls and stuff all over Europe. And Leroy looked like. Let's see if I can draw Leroy. Let's see. What happened to my? Oh, here it is. Let's see if I can do a little Leroy here. It's pretty funny. Let's see, where's my pad, so I don't bleed on anything. Okay, here we go. So here's the parting shot, Leroy. It went something like this. It looks something like this. Leroy was here. I don't know the history of it, but that's what the GIs were putting on all the walls to let everybody know that the good guys had at least come through. So that was the thing. When I was a little kid, Leroy was here was the thing, because it was still close to World War II. I was born in '44 during the war. I'm actually a war baby. I am not a baby boomer. I came before that. I'm baby sooner than boomer. All right. So okay, you guys have a lot of fun. Be safe. Wash your hands a lot, and then after I wash my hands really well, I wash my face too to get all those cooties that might be sticking here or here or there. You know, I get them off there. All right. So enjoy a tall, cool one, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye. I'll still be on this thing. You know, the chat for just a minute, just in case somebody forgot to say something. I think I can still answer after I'm off the video. So I'll just keep a lookout on there just for a minute. But for now, adios.